So welcome to the GitHub 101. This is an ultimate beginner-friendly guide to get started with Git and GitHub. Uh, we are going to see what is in Git and GitHub and why it is needed. So let's get started. First of all, let's start with Git itself. What is a Git and why it is actually needed. So let's see. Git could be understood as an time machine for your code and for your project. It is in kind of a powerful version control system that helps the developer and provide the capability to the developers to create a snapshot of your work at any point of time. So let's understood like why Git is actually needed. It is not just a time machine, or maybe it is not just a time machine that provide and take a snapshot of your code itself. But let's understand what is the need of the Git. So let's see. So let's suppose that we have a project X, and we have a file related to the project X that is index.html file, and it is it is a file on which it is a kind of shared file on which two developers are basically working on, supposing the developer A and developer B. So let's suppose that we will try to understand like why what are the stages on which the file actually is currently, and what happened when two developers try to work on the same file. So let's see. Initially, let's suppose that the file is at the stage of initial code. This is the level, or maybe this is the state of the file, and let's suppose that developer A tried, and these two developers are having the initial code base of the file itself. Okay. So these both are the developers having the initial code base of the file, and let's suppose that developer A have been assigned a task that you need to provide the button into that particular index.html file, and accordingly, developer A have done some modification into the file, and it have basically the developer have added a button to the file. So it have some other stage. It's in some modified stage of maybe added a button. Okay, and developer A pushed the changes to the index.html, or maybe we can say that the developer A have modified the index.html file, and hence the state of the main file also goes to the added a button stage, we can say. Okay, and let's suppose that developer B have also assigned a task to add a scroll bar into the index.html file. So, and developer B have also done his task, and he have added a button, scroll bar. Okay, added a scroll. Okay. Now comes the important part where Git plays a role, and what chaos could be happen without Git. Okay, so let's suppose that developer B also tried to replace the file from the database, or maybe from the web server, and it tries to basically replace the file of the index.html, but the developer B does not have the code that developer A have added, in which he have modified the file while adding a button. So let's see what stage happens. What's the next state of a file it becomes. So from the initial code, it actually becomes this initial code. The state of the file would be changed to what developer B have actually actually come up to. Okay, and hence this particular stage or this particular file would be overwritten, and the changes for the developer A has been lost now. Okay, so what to do in this particular scenario, or maybe what to do in this particular scene where the both of the developer are in the chaos that the changes are lost for one of the developer, and both are arguing on the same side that one of you have not committed the file, or maybe not updated the changes, or not merged the changes of one of the developer, and that's why the changes has been lost. So this is the problem that get basically solved for us, and that's what we are going to see here. So as we have told before, that the Git is a time machine that creates a snapshot and tracks every changes that you do into the file. That's what we are going to see, and that is why Git is not just a what you can say. It's not just an option now. It is a necessity for every developer to install the Git and to work with Git, because it prevents chaos, like when multiple developers are working on the same project. Maybe this particular scenario, as we have seen over here, this is just a scenario when two developers are working together and they have just overwritten one of the changes of one developer. Okay, so let's suppose that what would be the case when maybe hundred of developer or 10,000 of developers are working on the same project or same microservice. So this is the chaos that happens, and this is what being Git is solving out. Okay, and so another thing that we can see over here. So this is this is the history, or maybe this is the state of the file of the index of the HTML that we are just natively writing with a pen and paper. Okay, but what there is no history or no tracking of the file that is coming up for the index of the HTML, that who have done some changes onto the file, or what changes has been done to the file. So there is no audit record basically, or there is no audit trail for the index.html, that who is the culprit and who has done what changes to the index.html. So this also would be solved by the Git itself. And let's suppose that any person, or maybe in future a developer B comes into the picture, and if he or she tries to do any changes in the index.html, hence his or her changes also gets reflected to the Git commits within the Git commits, or we record it with the help of Git itself. Okay, so that's why Git is very important. And let's try to see what will happen in the case when the developer A and developer B both are trying to work with the Git and the Git version control tool. Okay, so let's see what will happen. Let me just remove it, and let me just reset the initial stage of the file. Let's suppose that both other developer are having the initial state of the file as an initial code, or okay, so both are developer having the same state of the code, and let's suppose that the developer A have done his work and he have added the button, okay, added button to the file. Okay, and the developer A have pushed the changes, or maybe have transferred the changes to the server using Git. Okay, Git push. So these are terms that are terminologies that we will gonna talk about. Just for the sake of this particular lecture, we can think of that the developer A is basically pushing, or maybe sending, or the file or the changes to the to the server and to the project.html. Okay, so yeah, and the initial the state of the file has changed to added a button. Okay, all right. Okay, Now developer B also comes into the picture, and he have also done some changes, or maybe added a scroll bar, okay, into the index.html. And he also tries to push, or he also tried to send the file to the web server, or try to replace the file of project X to project X over here. But he's also using Git. Now what will happen? Git will say to developer B that, hey, stop. Developer developer A, or some other developer, anyone from your project, or maybe your team, have already done some changes onto index.html that does not exist in your particular initial code, or maybe that is like you have not updated your code itself over here. Okay, so first what we need to do, we need to first fetch the changes from the index.html, merge the changes with the developer B changes that he have done with like the adding of the scroll bar, and then he needs to push the changes, or needs to send the changes to the server. So what will happen, that developer B will first pull the changes, which is add a button. Okay, these are the changes that is done by the developer A, and he will basically add the changes and merge the changes into his IDE. Okay, let me do it. Simple pull request, or maybe a request that is coming from a repo. Okay, we'll see all these terminologies basically, but for the sake of this particular lecture, we can think like he is just fetching some file from the server. Okay, now after that, what will happen, that the developer B would have merged these changes with the existing changes that he have done of adding to the scroll bar within the IDE itself that the developer B is using. Maybe he's using the VS Code, or maybe he's using the IntelliJ IDEA. Okay, so adding, or maybe add a scroll bar. Okay, now when developer B tries to again push the code onto the server of the index.html, now Git will say that yes, this code is updated and you are good to go with pushing of the code. Okay, and now what will happen onto the server, that we have a proper commit, or maybe a proper graph of changes, or the history. Like firstly, the code was at the initial code, then the developer B have tried of changing the code, and he has sent it, and he have added something to the index.html, and he have added a button. Now after the developer B have also pushed some changes, and he have added a scroll bar. Okay, so as you can see over here, we have a record and an audit trail maintained properly over here, like which developer had done what, and what are the changes has been done by the developer while pushing the code, or while sending the code to the index.html file. So this is the particular problem, and this is the particular solution that is given by the Git. Okay, so as we can see over here, like we are sending the code, or we can say that we are pushing the code to the server. We are like fetching the code from the updated code from the server. All of these things totally controlled, or in control, with the help of Git itself. That's why Git is very, very important in today's developer life, and that's what Git help us with. So yeah, that's pretty much about what is Git actually. Okay, so yeah, that's all for this particular tutorial. I hope you like this video, and there is something you have learned from this video, and let me know into the comment section how you have used Git and how Git have solved your chaos. Thanks for watching.